with you as many maidens would be.
Yes, people, welcome back. LBins is finally back. You know what I mean? After a slight pause due to my fault. You know what I mean? Hope you guys are all well. Please make sure you drop a like on the way in. Almost 100 people tuned in already. Let's get those likes to at least 50 likes. Come on, guys. Need 15 people. Hit that thumbs up button and we'll get that to 50 likes. Make sure you are subscribed as well. Get some yeses in the chat. Let's see who we've got in the building today. We've got Marshy Boy. We've got Based Kirby, Sub to Typical City, International Fan. Big up to Large, Dreamy Doku, Sam Martin, CJ, Roberts here. Big up to Robert. Big up to Anshuman, Itchy. Yes. Big up to Conips here. Miles is in here as well. Big up to Justin, Ryan, Owen, Ildunican, JSN, Aryan's in the building as well. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Big up to King Harland as well, who's just become a YouTube member. Thank you very much for supporting me on the channel. And welcome to the squad. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Nobbins. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Happy Valentine's Day to you. And indeed the chat.
Yes.
If anyone has a date or not.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Yeah, that is a good way to start. It is Valentine's Day. Yeah, I need to go and get some stuff. But yeah, we will be there. We will be there. Oh well. You okay?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh well. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, especially after the game yesterday. Great performance, great results, lovely stuff. We're back, and it was really nice to have a fully fit squad for about 2 seconds. That was clean. That was my favorite thing. You know, it must be nice. Must be nice. But yeah. All good. All is well indeed.
Yeah, no, that is so annoying about the injury situation, because obviously all season we've been battling with little injuries here and there, and obviously we've had the KDB one, which has been the main one. But you know, you've always had 1 or 2 players, maybe even 3 out injured. We finally get them all back, and now they're all fucking injured again. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Obviously, last night checked all the information. Bernardo, we're not too sure what's going on there because we didn't really get too much information. His was a knock. Obviously, Akanji got the knock, didn't he, when he played against Huddersfield? He was out for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Grealish, obviously, that could be the more serious one, because when we chat GPT'd it last night. We chat GPT'd it on the stream to find out how long he'd be out for. And chat GPT said a minor groin strain, 1 to 2 weeks. However, serious groin strains could be months. So let's hope that it's nothing serious. Obviously, Gavardio's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. That should see him back just before the Liverpool game. But yeah, look, listen, it is quite frustrating because obviously we want, we want a full fit squad, but it is what it is. Injuries are part of the game. You know, you can't really moan about it too much. Everyone gets injuries, and we just have to deal with it. And you know, I guess this is a con of having a small squad. You know, Pep Guardiola likes working with a smaller group of players. This is the consequence of when you get a few injuries. So anyway, it is what it is there. You know, and we just have to deal with that. Last night, you said it was a good result. Yeah, it was a good result. It was a great result. 2-goal advantage. I felt like a 2-1. Obviously, still a good result. You've won the game, and back at the Etihad, let's be real, we should be winning the game anyway. But that 2-goal cushion, it won't allow him to go crazy, but it might just allow him just to rest 1 or 2 crucial players ahead of the game against Liverpool, which, of course, comes that following weekend, won't it?
100%, yeah. It is genuinely massive, the difference between a 1-goal and a 2-goal lead. That's why I probably celebrated the most when that 3rd goal went in, because of what it meant. You would expect that even with a slightly rotated side, that we still don't lose by 2 goals at the Etihad. I wouldn't expect us to lose by 1. I wouldn't even expect us to draw, even with a slightly rotated side. Yeah, he won't go crazy. It's not like he'll, throw in a bunch of children and it'll be treated as a dead rubber. But I would expect, for example, De Bruyne to be on the bench, maybe Haaland to be on the bench. Pardon?
Foden.
Yeah, and maybe Oscar Bob starting. These sorts of players coming in, and as I say, our biggest guns rested, because that game comes in between the Manchester derby and the Anfield game. So we want them to be as refreshed as is possible. So yeah, a 2-goal cushion is massive. And Pep will never throw a game away, even if it's a dead rubber. He still in the past has started very strong sides, but it is more of a safety net thing, isn't it? And yeah, it's massive. Also, I knew that I know Copenhagen was seeking an equaliser, but I was a bit surprised that they let themselves so wide open, because if there's only one goal in it, doesn't matter who you're against, anything can happen. But being 2 goals behind, and then you've got to come to the Etihad, which is like objectively the hardest place to come to in Europe from like a statistical standpoint of like, you know, the fact we haven't lost there in, I don't know how long is it, like 4 years or something insane. Yeah, it's massive. It's massive, and I'm really happy we got that 2-goal cushion, because we deserved it. Because I'm sorry, but we battered them, and Copenhagen is shit, and I hate Copenhagen, and all they wanted to do was injure our players.
Why do you hate? Oh, because they were so physical.
Yeah, it's like I just couldn't believe it was. Genuinely, I thought I was watching like San Marino in terms of the level of poor quality of challenges. So these are not professional tackles. This is just like, I actually want to just purposefully stick a foot in on you and injure you, it seems. And the referee was not protecting the players. Grealish, before his injury, got fouled 3 times off the ball, and the referee did nothing about it. What a surprise he then gets injured.
I did say during my watch along that he was very chill with his cards, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then he had the audacity and the gall to tell Kyle Walker to calm down when their players had been popping off on our players for like the past 40 minutes prior. So that really annoyed me. I don't like that referee. I've now got a vendetta against him. Don't know who he is. I don't wish him a happy Valentine's. I hope he's alone and suffers.
Jesus. No, you are right though about battering him. I mean, I feel like maybe some people have not given City enough credit, maybe myself included in that. I mean, we absolutely look at the stats here. 79% possession to 21. They only had 4 shots in the whole game. One of them was on target, and that went in. 27 shots for City, 13 on target. We had a couple shots off target, some block shots there as well. Corners, which, I've got to say, I love Kevin De Bruyne, but please take him off corner kicks. He's just not the one there. We also missed 4 big chances as well. So on another day, we really could have, put them away. 93% passing accuracy. I don't know if you know about this stat. I don't know if I've ever told you, but you know how you do your stats for Kevin De Bruyne? Not for Phil Foden when he touches the ball. I have a stat. I want you to start paying attention. If Manchester City's passing accuracy is 92% or over, we win the game.
Excellent. That's a great stat.
If it's between 90 and 92, we usually win, but not all the time. If it's below 90, there's a serious chance we won't win the game. And this is serious scientific factual information.
You can't argue with the data.
Years. You cannot argue with the data. However, as we found out in the post office scandal, you should always question the data, because some people on that, got absolutely roasted. I always bring this up, but it's fucking fuming. It lives rent free, Matt. Have you seen this post office scandal, bro?
Yeah.
It just lives rent free in my head. Yeah, and whenever anyone mentions data, it's like fucking Horizon. Yeah. Anyway, we absolutely battered them. It was a great performance. What was your take on Jack Grealish last night? Because obviously started the game, really needed to have a good performance. I said that before the guest. He really needs to have a good game. He's been not starting a lot of games. Basically this calendar year. Pep's been playing this not left winger in Gvardiol at left wing, as you sort of explained in your recent video. By the way, guys, make sure you go check that out. And then obviously Doku seemingly getting a little bit more favoured recently because he's working harder off the ball. So Pep's probably trust him a little bit more. He gets the go ahead yesterday. Yeah. And for 20 minutes, I think he's doing a good job. He's keeping the ball. He's bringing Ake into the game. Ake put a couple crosses in. You know what I mean? Very rarely lost it. Look pretty good, to be fair. And then he gets injured. You know what I mean? And you could obviously see it. You was obviously watching the game, doing your watch along. You could see when he got subbed off, he looked heartbroken, man. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't look at him. I couldn't look at the screen because I was just like, the guy's heartbroken. Then Pep Guardiola, after the game, speaks about it and says, Jack Grealish is in the last few days in training, he's been at the standards that we need. Because obviously Pep called him out last week, remember, guys? Said he's not been at the standards we require in training, which was a big statement, a big call from Pep Guardiola. That could have backfired. Luckily for us, it didn't. Grealish come back into training, really put the work in, was showing signs of quality. And then to get that injury, man, it's just so disappointing, isn't it?
It is, and he was playing really well before that injury. And we looked so fluid. For me, that is my favourite. That's my preferred front five. I think that in the biggest games, that should be the front five that we look to use. I thought he played well. It wasn't flashy at all, no, but we looked so controlled and measured and fluid when he was on the ball and when he was on the pitch. As soon as he came off, look, we still dominated the game and everything, but we definitely looked a lot less fluid than without him, than with him on the pitch compared to without. He offers a lot of intangibles, does Jack Grealish. That's why I always defend him. I like Doku a lot. I just feel like since his injury, he sort of isn't maybe hit the heights that Doku hasn't maybe quite hit the heights of what he did pre-injury. And sometimes when Doku's on the pitch, City feel a little bit. It's like not identity crisis isn't the right term, but it does feel a little bit. There seems a bit of a disconnect between Doku and the rest of the pitch in that everyone else seems to be reading from the same hymn sheet, but then Doku's just sort of doing his own Doku thing of trying to take on players. And I don't think that maybe like Doku's fully got used to the team yet, and indeed vice versa as well. Like against Everton, for example, like we focused a lot of the play down that left side with Doku. It was almost like we were forcing it at times. I feel like we haven't quite figured out how to properly utilise Doku, and Doku hasn't properly figured out how to play for City yet. Not that he's been bad at all by any means, but Grealish is that typical, control-based City winger. We know what we're going to get from him, whereas Doku maybe not so much. So yeah, it's a massive issue for the bigger games. He needs to be back for Anfield. I would have loved him to be available for Chelsea because he would have been perfect at Stamford Bridge, but he didn't start that day. I think he may have been ill or injured. He would have controlled that game down. There's no way we concede 4 goals when Jack Grealish is on the pitch, just by virtue of the control he gives us. So yes, it's a genuine massive loss. I don't care how he's been playing this season, whether you think it's been bad or not. What he offers us is invaluable, and I'm concerned that Pep says it's a muscle injury. Pep says it's bad. Hopefully he was taken off early on, so hopefully it's just precautionary more so than anything else. And hopefully he's back fully rested and fit for Anfield because we need him.
Yeah, no, exactly. Anfield is such a big game, and he would do wonders for us if we could have him back there. I mean, City play Liverpool on the 10th of March, which is 1, 2, 3. It's 3.5 weeks from today. So again, if we go from the chat GPT, which said a minor groin strain, he could be back within 2 weeks. That'd give him a week and a half back in training if it's 2 weeks. But if it is anything more, and it doesn't even have to be a lot more, it doesn't have to be a career ender. It's just anything slightly more than a minor one, just slightly a bit longer, and he's probably going to be out of the game. You know what I mean? So fingers crossed. I'm sure you'll get a scan today. On the situation, and we'll find out hopefully in the next couple of days what's going on. We'll probably find out on Friday, man, to be honest with you. Obviously because Pep's got the press conference, so yeah, we'll probably find out on Friday about Jack Grealish and how serious it is. But listen, I think Jack Grealish is a little bit under, not a little bit actually, very underrated. I don't think people completely understand what he's in the team to do.
I agree.
I don't think he's in the team. Well, I know he's not in the team to score goals or get assists that much. Because if he was, he wouldn't be in the team because he doesn't get the goals or assists. He's in the team to hold the ball high up the pitch in difficult games. Yeah? That's why
to
you
create
need
space for others as well.
Yeah, to create space for others, just like he did when Ake was on the pitch yesterday. And Ake put the ball in, and Kevin De Bruyne really should have scored the header. Why did that cross come in? Why? Because Ake had so much time and space to get the cross in because Grealish should make the space for him. So listen, I completely get it. If you're playing at home against Luton, yeah, you might look at it sometimes and go, "Oh, it's a bit frustrating," but you've got to look at what he does for the other players. And it's no coincidence to me that we won a treble, yeah, last year. And people will say, "Yeah, but he didn't do anything." So you telling me then that City won a treble with 10 men? Because that's what you're telling me. You know what I mean? So, as Brett says in the chat, he's very, very good off the ball. He's one of the hardest defensive working players. We've seen him do this a lot, especially in the big games. So it is a shame. He's going to miss a few games now, which is disappointing because we got games that we really need to win. I guess every game's a winnable game or must-win game right now. But let's hope that it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure we'll see more of the Gvardiol. In fact, we won't see more of the Gvardiol because he's out injured as well. Bloody hell, yeah. So we'll probably see, obviously, Ake be solid at left back. So listen, I think what we're going to see, yeah, he's probably Ake at left back now, and Doku's probably going to get a lot of minutes. Oscar Bob, yeah, I think
that's big.
He needs to be ready now because I think he's going to get some minutes that he needs to perform in. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe we might even see Foden might have to go back out to the left wing at certain points as well, just to sort of cover for our sort of lack of players. Because if you think about it, Gvardiol's been playing as a left winger. Yeah, he's out injured. Grealish is a left winger. He's out injured. So, we've only got one left in Doku, and I'm not sure 100% Pep trusts him there. So it wouldn't surprise me if Foden starts playing left wing a little bit in these next couple of weeks, just to cover. But yeah, listen, we absolutely dominated them last night. I do want to come on to Kevin De Bruyne, bro. The title of the stream is he the best player in the world? Is he the best player in the world? Because, mate, he's just an absolute joke.
Now that like Messi's left Europe, I think that he probably is, isn't he? He's certainly the best in the Premier League. I'm not going to say he's been the best this season because he's only been back for a month and a half. But in terms of like an overall player, I think he probably is. People might say Mbappe. I personally wouldn't agree. I think it is. I think that we're even with these very brief cameos, we're reminded of his quality. I think that, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I think that people maybe forgot how important and how good he was. When he was out injured, lots of rival fans downplaying his impact and what he would bring to this City side. But even in like 20-minute spells, just coming off the bench, he's been the difference maker in most of our games so far this season since he's come back. Last night, another brilliant performance. His finishing is so underrated that his ability to just pass it into the box is brilliant. He is also, just speaking of like passing into the box, he's objectively the best or like one of the best long range strikers in Premier League history. In respect of numbers, I have counted all the long shots, and his record and ratio is ridiculous. And yeah, he's our best player for a reason, and it's so good to see that fantastic connection down the right hand side with Foden that's being developed.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
Yeah, it's so good how in an ideal world they would both play in the middle where they can both play in the pockets and whatever. But it's so nice to see that we don't have to necessarily have both of them in the midfield, because Foden normally played out on the right yesterday, but there was lots of rotation. There was allowances for Foden to come into the middle, like De Bruyne roamed. Sometimes he was popping up on the left wing. It's just so good to see that Guardiola trusts both of them to be on the pitch at the same time with one another. And that connection is paying dividends massively. And yes, and since he's been back, he and Foden have easily been probably been our best players. Yeah, it's I can't overstate how good De Bruyne is and how valuable he is.
Well, for me, I know he's missed half a season, but if he carries on doing this for the rest of the season, he's probably going to end up being our player of the season. And he missed half of a season if he continues at this rate.
Well, he's been getting like at least a goal or an assist every single game as well, hasn't he? I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's hard to ignore.
What do you think about this? Have a guess. Guys, no cheating. How many minutes per goal or assist for De Bruyne this season? Get your guesses in, no cheating.
Oh gosh. Am I allowed to know how many goals and assists he has first of all?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got in all comps. It's 10.
10. Right. So I don't think he's played that many 490s, has he? I'd go. I'll say like once every 45 minutes.
A lot of people have said 45.
Okay.
45. Prodigal 45. Conic 45. Sai 47. Marshy 50. Prodigal 45, Jen Jose 52, Abukar 50. It is 41
Oh,
0.2 minutes per goal or an assist.
that is mad.
Just an absolute joke, isn't it? Absolute joke.
Yeah.
He's on fire. Big up to King Haaland, says LB with Grealish injured, it's Doku time. Well, yeah, listen, Doku's going to be thrown in there big time because obviously we've got no Guardiola and Grealish, so he needs to step up. I thought he played okay. I might come on to him after we finish the Kevin De Bruyne chat. We might speak about Doku a little bit more, but yeah, he's gonna be playing a lot. Pip up as well says only the GA merchants don't rate him. Rodri best in the world says
He's up there too.
Yeah, again, I thought Rodri was fantastic. But yeah, listen, Kevin De Bruyne, unbelievable. Obviously, you all know about I'm invested in this guy stonks this year for the 2.5K. He's currently on 4 Premier League assists. We need a little boost on that one. But he's just unbelievable. Like I say, if he carries on the way he's going, even though he's missed half a season, he could easily become our best player of the season. Phil Foden is going to have to keep scoring goals, keep getting assists to hold him off. Because for me, I think I've got Phil Foden up there. I probably got Rodri up there. Alvarez is up there, but he's probably not going to win it, to be honest with you. So, yeah, for me, Kevin De Bruyne is making a big charge towards that best Manchester City player of the year, but he's got it. For him to win it, because he's missed half a season, he's going to have to slam it for the second half of the season. But yeah, the way he's going at the moment is fantastic. Something as well that a couple of the people in the chat mentioned yesterday, I want to get your take on this. And me and Martin spoke about it before the game. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is getting on a little bit. Do you think that basically his role has changed? Have you seen any difference in his role since he's come back? Because a lot of people have suggested he's playing a slightly deeper position, sort of like in these areas, putting the balls in, like we've seen against Newcastle. We've not seen him doing as many sprints forward. Like in previous years, we've seen Kevin De Bruyne pick up the ball sort of like in this space and maybe drive forward with it. He's not done that too much. I don't know if you seen the same, but I feel that maybe he's moving less, not in a lazy way, maybe in like to protect his body way. I don't know if does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think that's right. I actually did a video on what Kevin De Bruyne's new role and position is in the light of the Newcastle game. And yeah, I agree that he hasn't lost any physicality, because if anything, he looks stronger and faster than last season, but he's definitely reserving it in the moments rather than doing it consistently. So like against Copenhagen.
I like that description, reserving it. Yeah. That's right.
So there were a couple times yesterday where Foden slipped a ball through for him 2 times. It was slightly overhit, but De Bruyne's pace was all there, and he would have got on to the end of both of those balls by Foden, but for Foden slightly overhitting them. So and against Burnley as well, he was getting stuck in with the duels, but again he was clearly making decisions on when he would and would not engage in the duels, and when he would and would not, make those bursts and utilize that physicality. So it seems to be maybe he's more selective in that case. But yeah, he's definitely actually quicker than last season, 100%. Everest Footy in the chat saying that I'm waffling. No, he just definitely is stronger and faster compared to last season. I think that rest has done him a world of good.
I would say, just to have my little say it, I wouldn't say for one situation or not that he's faster, but I certainly wouldn't say he's slower. I don't know if he's faster. I don't know if he's faster. I can't really tell, but I certainly wouldn't say he's slower. I don't think he's lost any pace. No,
definitely not. He just seems to have more about his. There seems to be more power in his accelerations, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And in terms of like where he's like picking up positions on the pitch, yeah, I've never seen this role from him before, where he just plays wherever he wants. As I say, this is something I discussed in the Newcastle video, but he's played, in the right half spaces. He's cropped up at right wing. He's cropped up at left wing. He's also cropped up in the deeper positions as well. And that's how the goal was scored against Newcastle. That Oscar Bob goal, it came from like De Bruyne being really deep. So yeah, look, it's not a total evolution for De Bruyne. Like, he's not been totally out and out converted into a deeper player. But and I think the signs are probably there that it's probably a testament to the fact that De Bruyne is going to last even longer than we thought. This is something that I discussed like a couple of years ago, actually, because people were talking about how, De Bruyne relies a lot on his physicality. What happens when what happens when that physicality goes? It's irrelevant because his passing range is so good. I think what will happen to De Bruyne is what happens to Pirlo, where he was just converted, and indeed Paul's goals, where they were converted into deeper playmakers, where it didn't matter that they couldn't run. All that mattered was their range of passing, and that's what De Bruyne, Rooney as well, and Harry Kane is already doing that for some reason, already trying to be a deep line playmaker. So it's going to be the same thing. Like when De Bruyne's physicality eventually goes, and it doesn't look like it's leaving anytime soon. At the age of like 36 plus, he could easily be converted into that deeper player, and just surrounded with some protection, as Pirlo was in like around like the 2012 plus time, and he'll be able to have like another 3 or 4 years at that highest level with that different role. So yeah, definitely a different role and position from Kevin, and we'll probably, as the years go by, we'll probably see him drop a little bit deeper and deeper when his physicality eventually leaves him, because it leaves everyone at some point.
Yeah, no, listen, I actually have had the same sort of take on this, because I've said for years, don't expect Kevin De Bruyne to play at City past 33, 34 max. It's not going to happen. But since he's come back from this injury, he does look very fresh. This new position is probably less taxing on him. I think City and Pep Guardiola realise that you're going to have to manage his minutes a lot, probably better than we have done in the past. You know what I mean? I was looking at some of his games that he played last year, and we were 4-0 up and he played the full 90 minutes. Like, that probably has to change going forward. And if you do that, and you get a little bit lucky with the injuries, yeah, absolutely. He could be at City till he's 35, 36. You know what I mean? Possibly could happen. So that's obviously good news. I still think that we should look at bringing in another attacking midfielder in the next, if not this summer, next summer, definitely, just to sort of bolster that attacking midfield and that creativity, because I really don't think that Nunes and Alvarez are real options in that sort of creative space. We need players, more than just Kevin De Bruyne and Foden, especially if Kevin De Bruyne is going to be playing in that deeper position. So, yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. I think right now he probably is, for me, the best player in the world. Him, even like Jude, Rodri, they're all up there. And obviously Foden at the moment as well, because the way he's playing, getting all the goals, he's been absolutely fantastic. And listen, you mentioned Foden and Kevin De Bruyne terrorizing, down the right-hand side and obviously in the central positions. Foden's gone up another level, hasn't he? And for me, he's taken the responsibility to go and win football matches, to create. I feel like he almost feels like a bit of a leader in the team now, and there's pressure on him. And in fact, I've seen a video. I think, who did he do a video with? I watched a video that he done on YouTube with like TNT or someone like that. And he said he feels the pressure now to go out on the football pitch and to actually win football matches. He's no longer this player that comes in and, he can just leave it to Silva. He can leave it to Gundogan. Why? They've all gone. These players have gone. He's the player now that we're looking at to say, right, you're now the David Silva, you're now Gundogan, you're now the Kevin De Bruyne, you're the one who's meant to be going winning it. And I feel like he's really taking that role and responsibility well. And obviously, I think he's having probably his best season for City. The way he's influencing games is unbelievable. And I just think he's absolutely cooking.
Yeah, definitely. And as City fans who are patient, we all knew this was going to happen. Excuse me. For like however many years prior to his proper breakthrough, you had pundits who didn't know better saying, "Oh, send him out on loan. He's like wasting his time at City." Blah, blah, blah. Trust Guardiola, because he knows how to develop youth and he knows what he's doing. The best thing for Foden was to keep him at the club, so to not only learn from Pep, but to also learn from David Silva and Bernardo and Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne. And we are seeing the fruits. The fruits of that labour there. It's and just touching on those players. This is why it's stupid when people say, "Oh, but he's never been able to nail down a position." He's had world-class players in his position. What do you expect him to do? Dethrone Kevin De Bruyne immediately in his like first year? I don't think so. This is like a side gripe as well. It's not really related to the question you asked, but when people again, people use the argument of, well, he's never been able to be consistent in the midfield or the wing. What's his position? Right. He just dropped a masterclass against Brentford in the midfield. Getting a hat-trick, unbelievable performance. The next game, he's shoved out to the right. It's got nothing to do with Foden and how good he is. Pep just rotates and does whatever he wants in terms of like players. So if ever there was any evidence that his performances are irrelevant to his starting position, that is evidence of it, because he dropped a man-of-the-match performance in midfield and then gets shoved out to the right the next game, almost as if he didn't watch the game. So, yes, so that's Foden. And as you say, this season, he had to go up a level because it would have been last season, but he got injured partway through it. He was on course to have his best season. He was getting hat-tricks against Man United. He was doing unbelievable stuff down that right-hand side in particular. Then he got injured. Then he got appendicitis, and it sort of derailed him. And then you had this whole narrative again of he's 23 now, and he's still not the player that maybe he could be. So this was a season he had to show up, especially in light of the De Bruyne injury. And some players crumble under that pressure. Some players thrive under that pressure, and the best players thrive under that pressure. And Foden is one of the best players, and has been one of the best players in the world this season. I don't think you could name that many in the league who've been better than him, if any. I think you'd struggle to name too many in the world that have been better than him this season. And our patience has been rewarded. We knew it would happen, and he's 23 going on 24. It's only going to get better. He's making that midfield position his own. And as you say, he's now taking that responsibility. He feels the pressure, and he is thriving in it rather than crumbling, which some players might do. He's actually gone, you know what? I'm Phil Foden, and I actually know how good I am. And it's so refreshing to see that from him, because this has been his best season by an absolute mile. The maturity has been fantastic to see. The goals and assists are irrelevant. They're nice, but they do not define a Phil Foden performance. He plays exceptionally well, whether he gets a goal or an assist. The GA is just a bonus. And just on that, I think this is he's either eclipsed his best tally or he's very close to eclipsing his best ever tally. So it's all good. It's all fantastic to see. There are some benefits to De Bruyne getting injured, Gundogan leaving, Bernardo potentially leaving as well. It means that we get Foden through the door.
Yeah. Last night saw him eclipse his best ever. He needs one more goal.
One more.
In 2020, 2021, he got 16 goals, 10 assists. He's on 15 and 10 now. So he's got he needs one more goal or assist to equal his best ever. But listen, I think that's a good point about being moved out to the wing. People and people who are stupid do this, by the way. Yeah, if you do this, you're actually stupid.
Oh, he's called you out, boys.
Yeah, I've called you out. People use his versatility as a con to his game. Oh, well, he's not been able to hold down that position or this position or this position. Hang on a minute. Since when was being able to play false nine, left winger, right winger, centre mid, attacking mid? When was this a bad thing? So, and people will say, "Is what it is." Well, hang on a minute. Are we then saying that this guy, Bernardo Silva, is a bad football player?
Yeah, he's washed because he can play left back. What an idiot!
Bernardo Silva's not been able to hold down a specific position in the Manchester City team since he come in. He's been moved all over the gaff, as per the stats here. So is Bernardo Silva not a good player then? Exactly. No, he's a world-class player. Absolutely world-class that pretty much every single team in world football would like to take. So let's cut this out of the game, yeah? Yeah? Just because someone's versatile, that doesn't mean that, they can't hold down a position. No, it's because they're versatile. It means because they've got such a good football intelligence, they're able to play multiple positions rather than just one. Yeah, and if you can't understand that, then you're a dumb guy. You're just a dumb guy. And also, like Nobin said, why has he not been able to hold down a midfield position? Well, again, one of the reasons is because he's so versatile. The other reason is because we've had players like David Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne. That's probably one of the reasons, yeah? So, listen, you're just a dumb... I just think you're seriously dumb if you use that as an argument. I think if you use versatility as an argument, then I just think you're very, very stupid.
Yeah,
person.
If you think versatility and utility is a weakness, then I actually just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like Guardiola values the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, he always said, but you know, he had 11 Fernandinho's on the pitch because he can just play anywhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah, very, very strange. But yeah, he's absolutely killing it right now. And, you know, speak on Bernardo Silva. I thought Bernardo Silva was outrageous yesterday. I thought it was absolutely incredible. Obviously, a lot of the plaudits have gone to Foden and Kevin De Bruyne because of the goal and the assist. But Bernardo was unbelievable. He got a beautiful finish. You know, he was everywhere on the pitch, right wing, midfield, left wing at times. He was just out of this world. And you know, Ruben Diaz has been speaking on him this morning about, well, probably spoke on him last night, but he spoke about Bernardo Silva and the whole is he going to leave sort of situation. And clearly it's become a little bit of a joke in the Manchester City dressing room because he says this. He says, at a certain moment last season, I thought Bernardo Silva might go, but I always tell him that every summer we have this series, which is called Bernardo is Going Nowhere. This is the third summer since I've been here, and there is a new episode every year. He says, I was really happy when he signed a new contract because if you want to win trophies, Bernardo is exactly the kind of player that you need around you. And then he also says, that's not about that. He says, other players may get a lot of headlines, but Bernardo Silva is always there. Players with assists, goals will always get the biggest praise. That's the way it works. But when you analyse why we've won so much, Bernardo's name will be there. And this is, you know what? I'm glad he said that, yeah, because I've said this for years. I've said the reason that Bernardo Silva is still at Manchester City is because he don't get goals or assists. Because I genuinely think people in Europe, these sporting directors, are not able to justify spending 80, 90, 100 million pounds, which it was obviously, that was the asking price before the release clause, because he don't get goals or assists. I genuinely believe that. And I've said that for years. I've said it because the thing is, right, if you're a sporting director of a club and you want to sign Bernardo Silva and City like 80, 90, 100 million, yeah, they're going to look at it and say, hang on a minute, 100 million for a guy that gets, what, 10 goals, 10 assists max? And it's because, I've got to call him out again, I think a lot of people, you know, sporting directors in Europe are stupid because they don't see the rest that he gives you in the game. And in the biggest games that we play, I would be very, very surprised if there's anyone in this chat that would say you wouldn't have Bernardo Silva in the starting 11. Anyone in the biggest games, the Bayerns, the Real Madrids, Anfields, yeah? Because what he gives you in those big games is priceless. And I genuinely think that that's the reason that he stayed here. Because I've said it for years. Because, like I say, you've got to justify a £100 million spend. I just don't think people will be able to. I don't think sporting directors will justify it when he only gets 20 goal involvements a year. Because he doesn't really get output. That's not really his game. He chips in now and again, but that's really not that's not really what he's in the team for. And I don't think people have been able to see it. And people will say, nah, you're capping LB. Well, I'll come back to you then and say, well, why is he still here? Well, why is he still here? Why has no one in Europe signed him? Because I think we all agree this summer he was worth 80 million, 90 million. The season before he was worth 80 million, 90 million. So why is he still at Manchester City? Why? Because other teams don't value him like we do. Because they're stupid, bro.
Yeah, well, versatility is really underrated, as we just discussed with that Foden conversation. And yeah, look, it's the rest of Europe's loss, or you know, whoever didn't sign him's loss, because he has been, you know, just a consistent stalwart for Pep City ever since 2018, basically. Centurion's season was fine, but it was his first season, so it wasn't great. And then the domestic quad year, he actually won Etihad Player of the Year, I think. It was arguably our best player that year. And he's just gone from strength to strength since then. He came in as a right winger from Monaco. We played him in the middle. And then, as you say, he's played all over the shop since then. He found himself as the starting right winger in the treble winning team. He is brilliant. He's literally priceless and unique. And I don't think there is anyone like him in world football, to be honest, in terms of what he offers. Who else can you think of that can do to his level, play, you know, as a double pivot 6, as an 8, as a 10, as a false 9, as a right winger, even left winger, even left back at times last season, to the level that he does, and with the touch that he has, and with the control that he offers, and with the finishing in those big moments that he offers. Like, didn't he score? He scored 2 against Real Madrid last season in the Champions League semi-final. This is a unicorn. Unicorn is an overused term, but this is apt to use it. This is a unicorn of a player. And I don't think there's anyone else like him, to be honest, at this level in world football. If there is, I seriously don't know his name. And if he leaves, it's going to be impossible to replace him in one player. You'd have to sign two to properly replace what he offers. I know there's a £50 million release clause. I just hope that in the current economic climate of clubs not wanting to spend money, or as much so as in the past, hopefully, because I think you're right, he does get overlooked. Hopefully, he'll get overlooked again. And because if you believe the rumours, he wants Barca, I doubt they're going to be able to afford £50 million because their financial situation is really bad. The main one seems to be PSG. Would he want to go back to France so he can be closer to Portugal and home? Maybe. But I would love it if he stayed another season. I think, as I say, irreplaceable and just a genius of a player.
Yeah, well, I've spoken about this a lot recently, and, I think that, he's always said he wants to go back to Benfica when he's 32. Right?
How old is he?
30. He's got 2 years left, 2 seasons.
Okay.
Next season, one more. The problem is, if he leaves this season, he's probably not going to be able to go to Benfica when he's 32 because no one's going to pay 50 million quid for him. And then in 2 years, when he's 32, say, you can go Benfica for less than 50 million.
Yeah.
Right? Benfica probably won't be able to pay 50 million. So if it was me, I'd just be speaking to him, man, going, listen, Bernardo, you've done all these years. You've not wanted to be here for the last 3 years. 2 more years, and we will let you go to. I'll sit him here and let him go on a free transfer. I don't care. If this guy stays for the next 2 seasons, that's 5 seasons total that he stayed that he doesn't even want to be here. I'd quite happily let the guy walk out the door when he's 32 to Benfica on a free transfer. I wouldn't even be like, where's the cash? I would just be like, respect it. Respect the loyalty. He's never down tools, even though he's not want to be here. And he's on 300 grand a week now. Yeah, he's going to get that somewhere. Where is he going to get that? A lot of clubs are struggling financially. So I hope he stays because I think do 2 more years and then he can go to Benfica when he's 32. Just like his original plan was. That's what he said all along. He said he wanted to go back to Benfica when he was still decent, not when he's like 35, 36. He sort of lost it. So 2 more years and then go.
Yeah, that would be the ideal.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully he stays, man. Hopefully he stays. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens this summer. Because if he does leave, we're only getting 50 million to try and replace him.
It's not possible.
I think Paqueta is a decent option the way he works, but he's a different player to Bernardo, but he still puts in that work rate. But yeah, to lose him would be a massive blow. It really would. So to be able to keep him would be great news. Like I say, if you can keep him for 2 more seasons and then let him go back to Benfica, like I say, which was his original plan, then we're chilling. Listen, guys, for the last 10 minutes of the show, I'm going to turn our attention to Chelsea. Big game at the weekend. Make sure you guys have smashed the likes, man. A lot of freeloaders in the chat today, man. Come on, over nearly 300 people tuned in. We're not even at 200 likes, guys. What is going on here? So some lazy people in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for me, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to LBins. Link in the title. And make sure you go and watch his video that he uploaded yesterday. Was it?
Yeah,
yesterday. I watched it this morning. Very, very, very good video, informative on Pep Guardiola's new system. Right, Chelsea this weekend, bro. We play after Arsenal and after Liverpool, which is a little bit pressure's going to be on because I reckon they're both going to win. Liverpool got a slightly tricky game. Brentford away. That's not going to be easy, but I expect them to get the win. And then Arsenal play Burnley. That should be a straight W for them. That means the pressure's going to be on. We drew last time, 4-4 at the Bridge. What are you thinking about this Saturday night?
Well, we don't concede 4 at the Etihad. That's not going to happen for a start. But we could score 4. I don't think it'll be a battering. I think it'll be tight. Chelsea have been so weird this season. They've been so hot and cold. They've recently started to find some results. They battered Aston Villa and beat Palace in fortunate circumstances, but they did still beat them. I'd like to think that we will just destroy them. I don't see that happening, though. I think it'll be a relatively tight affair. I still think we'll win by more than 1. I'd go for maybe a 3-1 or something, but I don't think it'll be 4, 5, 6-0 or whatever. I think it'll be a little bit tighter than that. They've obviously got, Cole Palmer, who might feel like he's got a point to prove. I'm not sure. But it's tricky because I'd love to predict us to beat them, but Chelsea and Poch have been so hot and cold. You can't tell whether they're going through a crisis or whether they're whether they're trying to bounce back. It is a really weird one. We should beat them because we are much, much, much better than them, obviously, but it's still nevertheless a game against a big six team, and they're never easy. So yeah, we've got to be at it, and we've got to perform to our best levels. Otherwise, there will be a risk that it's like a potential banana skin, whether that's a defeat or a draw.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is Chelsea's away form this season. So if we have a look at the bigger games, West Ham, they won 3-1. Tottenham, obviously, you can't really, I don't think you can read too much into that because it was such a mad game. Got absolutely panned off Newcastle, lost to Man United, lost to Liverpool. The only game that they won was Tottenham. Yeah, and I don't even think you can.
And they had 9 men.
Exactly. And what's he called? Postecoglou decided to do some mad tactics. So we should win the game based off of Chelsea's away form against bigger sides, based off the fact that we've got a better team. But obviously we should have won at the Bridge. And that day defensively, we were let down. The good news is, I said it last night, Ruben Diaz is looking a lot better for me than he has done maybe a month or so ago. I don't know whether that's, again, due to the system change that Pep's put in, whether these guys are just more focused or whatever, I don't know. But our defense needs to be on point. But if our defense is good, we win the game on Saturday. Because there's no way, I say no way. I find it very, very surprising if we don't score at least 2 goals in that game. So if we concede more than 1, then that's poor. The defense still is making an error here or there. We've seen that against Brentford. We've seen it last night with Ederson kicking the ball out. We needed to focus a little bit more, but it does appear to me to be a little bit more stronger than it was maybe a month or so ago. And we need them to put in a top performance on Saturday because, listen, this is a big game. Like I say, the pressure's going to be on because Liverpool and Arsenal play on the same day before us. They're going to be watching this game thinking, can Chelsea do something? So let's see what happens. Of course, Cole Palmer's returning. Sterling's returning. If he's going to start, don't know. Enzo's looking like a good player. Last couple of games I've watched at Chelsea, he's looking real strong at the moment. So it's going to be a tough game, man. But I do think we can win it. I do think we will win it. But like I've said on this channel many, many times, I think we need to win every game now up until the Liverpool game. And this is a tough match.
Yeah, definitely. We need to put the pressure on. We need to hope that Liverpool drop some points. We want to go to Anfield knowing that ideally we can afford to lose. Never mind. We seriously can't put ourselves in a position where we must win at Anfield because that's probably not going to happen based on history. And this is a game that we should be winning. As the name of Chelsea is obviously big, but they are, in respect of form, a mid-table team. So we should be beating them relatively comfortably by like a 2-goal margin. We've obviously got the better players. They're better players who are like really good against us at the Bridge, like Sterling, for example. He's going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. So you'd like to think that he won't be running Kyle Walker ragged like he did at the Bridge. And yeah, if we can just stay defensive, the defense was the main reason why we only got a point last season. We conceded 4 goals. It's like unheard of for City to concede that many under Guardiola. We're obviously not going to do that at the Etihad. So it's just a case of taking our chances. Haaland's looking sharp based on the Everton game. Didn't get any service or support really against Copenhagen, but if we're able to find him, he should find the back of the net. Big game for Doku if he plays, because I thought he was poor at the Bridge. But then again, I don't think Reece James is back, and he was a big reason as to why Doku had such a bad game, because he actually shut him, pocketed him, whatever term you want to use. So yeah, I'm quietly confident that we win that game with a 2-goal cushion. We should do.
Yeah, hopefully so. A lot of people asking about the Rodri yellow card situation. I'll take a look at that in a second. Big up to Crystal. Says KDB better stats than Scholes. Unbelievable techers. Says Crystal B with the 2. Yeah, man.
Imagine not even being the best ginger world-class midfielder in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think Nobbins might know the stat. Is he now the 2nd or 3rd best assister in the Premier League history? I think he's behind Fabregas, isn't he? 3rd.
Yes, he's 3rd behind Giggs, who probably won't get overtaken because he was just here for about 50 years. Yeah, Fabregas has, I think, another 5. So he's definitely going to overtake Fabregas's record. And I think he now, in the Champions League, he goes level with Xavi. He's like I think he's top 10 in Champions League assists now, or he's like one off top 10. It's very he's either got 29 or 30. I think because there was a big thingy about, he only got 1 assist yesterday, even though he should have got 2. But he's certainly, there we go, 29, there you go. So I think he should have 30, because I thought that deflected assist should have counted as an assist, but whatever. Yeah, so he's got the same as Iniesta, and 1 off equaling Xavi. So basically, by the end of his career, you'd expect De Bruyne to be topping that chart ahead of Ronaldo, let's be honest.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, you probably would expect him to be the best assister in Champions League history, providing he can stay fit, because, you'd imagine that, he's got a minimum of 3, maybe 4 assists now at this season. I think he won't play against Copenhagen, to be fair, but yeah, if we go all the way, let's say we go all the way this year, I'd expect us to go quite far. So that's another two quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals, and a final. That's 5 games. All right, maybe not 4, maybe 3. Is 3 reasonable?
I think that's fair.
That would take him to 32. Then he goes above Giggs. He'd be the 5th highest in our comps. Next year, let's say another 5 or 6. That puts him on 37, 38, something like that. That puts him 4th. And then the year after, so he needs to stay fit for the next 2 years. And if he does that, I'd say you don't get relegated. We were chilling. You know what I mean? He'll get it. Yeah, I agree. I think that is. I think he'd be quite disappointed if by the end of his career he doesn't top that chart. A big up to LB99 with the super chat says, need to take our chances, can't afford to miss. Yeah, well, listen, everything about the game's got to be perfect. When you get the chances in front of goal, you got to score, and our defense has got to be strong at the back. That's just the way the game is. You know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. Quite a lot of people are asking about the Rodri yellow card situation. So let's take a look at that. So he's currently on 7. So if he gets 3 more, he's banned for 2 games. And of course, we need him for this Liverpool match. So you've got Chelsea, Brentford, Bournemouth, Man United. So there's 4 games before the Liverpool game. The only way he misses Liverpool is if he gets 3 yellows in the next 4 games. That's unlikely, but also it is semi-possible. So, this is, I think he's going to be available now for the Liverpool game, because I would be surprised if he got 3 yellows in 4 matches. That's quite a stretch, considering as well that 2 of them or 3 of them are at home. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully he's okay there. But yeah, if he can get through maybe like the next 2 games, Chelsea and Brentford, without a yellow card, Bournemouth, Man United, Liverpool, because really, look at this period here: United, Liverpool, Brighton, Arsenal, Villa. It would be great if we could have him for all those games. Listen, it's and by the way, then it resets after match day 32 anyway. It resets.
And also, I think that, because I remember us having this conversation, over a month ago, and he was still on 7 yellows then, and we were having the conversation of, should he purposefully get them? So it must have been ages since he's actually got a yellow card.
It was Newcastle, 13th of January. He's played 3 games without a yellow card. Yeah. However, he's never gone more than 3 games this season in the Premier League without a yellow.
Indeed, but I would say that part of the reason why he was getting yellow cards was because we were leaving him totally isolated this season. Especially if you think of that really bad period, the Chelsea game, Liverpool, Palace, whatever, he was left on his own. Therefore, he felt he had to foul more because we were giving up more dangerous counterattacks. Whereas now we have made him less isolated. I don't think it's a coincidence that since then he hasn't actually got a booking, because he doesn't feel, because we're suffering less of those counterattacks. So he's therefore feeling less of a need to have to foul, do those cynical pullback fouls to stop a counterattack. So I actually think that maybe that Premier League, that ratio of 1 in every 3 or whatever is a bit of a false dawn in respect of that was the system then, which was flawed. This is the system now, which is a bit more secure. That maybe that's me hoping, but that would be my prediction there.
Yeah, interesting. Well, the nasty run ends against Aston Villa, right? That's 8 games away. So, it's highly likely that he'll get 3 yellows in 8 games. But at the same time, he might not do. Who knows? And like I say, it resets after the Villa game. It's either after the Villa game or after the Palace game because it's match day 32. But I don't know if it resets after match day 32 or on match day 32. I'm not 100% sure. So, but yeah, listen, it's looking good. I would be absolutely shocked if he's not in the game for the Liverpool game. Listen, he might get to Brighton, he might get to Arsenal and maybe miss them if we're really unfortunate. That would be disappointing because we do have some big games, but he's definitely going to be there for the United game and the Liverpool game, barring a madness. But yeah, listen, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, bro, before we finish?
I'm not sure. I think that we covered everything, to be fair, from last game. I think all I would say is we didn't really discuss the Ederson blunder. It was very annoying. However, when it happened, me and my chat were talking about it, and we found that the last time Ederson had a distribution error leading to a goal. In fact, can the chat identify the last game where Ederson made a handling or passing error which directly led to a goal against Man City? Can anyone remember the exact game, or rather the most recent time that happened? Let me know, because this is a pub quiz. I do have the fact with me, but it's obviously a long time ago because I'm illustrating the point that it was a long time ago. So was it Liverpool, says DJ? No, so nearly Newcastle, but not quite. So Tottenham away, no. Tottenham at home was the last time Ederson made a ball playing error which led to a goal at home. When was that? That was in January of last year. So it's been over a year since he's made an error, distribution error leading to a goal. So that tells me he's not going to make another one the rest of this season. So I would rather he get it out of the way now against Copenhagen than, against Real Madrid, Liverpool, Arsenal, down the line, whatever. And it just demonstrates that the value of playing out from the back is worth it. Sure, sometimes he'll make this error, but again, it's been over a year since he's made a mistake like that, so it is still clearly worth it. It's not like Alisson and his ball playing where he makes them more consistently, because he's obviously not better with his feet. So yeah, I'd rather he get it out of the way. And it's like Haaland's penalty misses last season. I'd rather he got it. He had that penalty miss against Bayern when we were already like 3-4-0 up over the course of the 2 legs. I'd rather he get the error out of the way now.
Yeah. I don't listen. It's annoying at the time, but I completely agree. If you want Ederson in goal, you have to accept that this is going to happen now and again. Yeah, you just got to accept it. What you hope is it doesn't happen in a massive game. And it didn't happen in a massive game. So I'm kind of just like, it's what it is. That's why I didn't really talk about it, just because, I just don't see it as I just don't see it as a major issue. I said it's a major issue if he starts doing it in big games, yeah, and it's maybe it costs us a league. Maybe we do it if he does it at Anfield and you end up losing and then they win the league by 2 points or something. Or if he does it against Bayern or Real Madrid and you get knocked out. But, when he does it like Copenhagen, again, it's not ideal. I'm not saying it's great or anything, but I'm just saying, is it really worth speaking about that much? Is it really worth people saying, this is horrendous? Yes, at the time when we're watching the game, you can slag him off. You can say whatever you want, because obviously we're all fuming and that. But realistically, once everything's settled, it's not really that important. But listen, guys, going to wrap up now. Big up to everyone that's joined. Big up to our super chatters, King Harlan, Pitblup, Crystal B, and LB1998. Thank you for the support, guys. Hopefully, you guys have all smashed the like button. If you've not, please do that now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Subscribe to LBins. Link in the title. And he's got a great video out this morning. Oh, it was out yesterday. And I watched it this morning. It's a fantastic video. Manchester City's and Pep Guardiola's new formation. And it goes into detail about why that is, why we may be a little bit more secure. Talking about why I really thought it was quite interesting, because yesterday on my stream, I was saying I thought Kyle Walker's been really good, probably since the Newcastle game. And then the video, you say that. Goes into detail about that. So guys, go and check that out. It's absolutely killing it, man. It's had 15,000 views already, so you need to go and watch it. It's really, really informative. I'm now on with the Never a Foul guy. Stream will redirect you there. I don't know what we're talking about, but we'll soon find out. Hopefully you all guys have a good day. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit, guys.